Holland is no stranger to hard work or adversity, but no matter the obstacles, she does continue to raise the bar. In this week's Louisiana Women, our very own Carly Lang sits down with the president and CEO of Franciscan University.
Tina Holland is no stranger to hard work. It's a skill she learned as a child.
It wasn't the most enjoyable or what one would call a very glamorous existence. I would call it with modest resources at best.
She was determined to have a better life.
In my high school years, they started to admit women to the service academies. I decided to apply and said that would be a way that I could afford to go to school.
She was in the 4th class to admit women at the United States Naval Academy.
We weren't terribly welcomed. We were under a microscope. Everyone's watching us. You can't screw up.
She graduated with degrees in engineering and political science, then joined the Marine Corps.
I was with a squadron, so I was the only female officer in my squadron.
After the military, she unexpectedly found herself in the classroom.
This position in mathematics, and I said, well, I'm an engineer. I had that engineering background. I can teach mathematics. So I did, and discovered that, wow, I had these kids eating out of the palm of my hand.
Through faith and grit, she continued to excel.
Task me with something, I'd say, brother, I've never done that before. And he'd say, well, here's a book, you'll figure it out. Then it would work out pretty well, and he'd say, I need you to try this. Brother, I've never done that before. Here's a book, you'll figure it out.
That hard work landed her here in Baton Rouge as president and CEO of Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady University.
Maybe it's not so much luck. Maybe it's a plan that, the good Lord puts in our lap and says, do something with this.
She hopes to keep raising the bar and encouraging others to do the same.
Work hard, but understand it's not all about you. That hard work has to be motivated by something bigger than yourself, something outside of yourself. Because when you're gone, you're gone. And what difference, what kind of legacy are you going to leave? How many lives are you going to touch in a positive way?
For NBC Local 33, I'm Carly Lang.